What is going on, YouTube? On February 3rd, 1939, a day that will live in infamy in the Syracuse Fire Department history, on 225 East Genesee Street in Syracuse, New York, 9 firemen lost their lives on the Collins Block fire in Syracuse. Those men risked their lives, and unfortunately it ended in disaster for those 9 firemen as the Collins Block would collapse. Now, seeing pictures and everything else, I mean, it was a good sized fire for them, but honestly they didn't know if the building was, like I said, with firemen, you never know. Back then, technology wasn't available as now. We're talking about 1939, where Model A and Model T cars were still made. You know what I mean? And so they didn't think the building was going to collapse. Unfortunately, it did, and those 9 firemen would unfortunately not make it out. And you got to think about, those firemen, they must have been fathers, husbands, even sons. Very, very tragic day in Syracuse Fire Department history. As you guys can tell, they got the names of the firemen that lost their lives on that day, on a cold February 3rd, 1939 day. Just a sad, sad day. But it'll also change, Syracuse Fire Department pretty much forever. Now, it's the biggest loss in Syracuse Fire Department history. Now, when was the last time a Syracuse fireman would unfortunately pass away? Well, it happened almost 60 years to the day, almost, where a fire investigator lost his life. A chimney pretty much collapsed on him. He was a fire investigator, and a chimney collapsed on him in January of 1999. So, this is a nice memorial. Pay tribute to those firemen that, lost their lives. Almost every year, you'll see, even on the news, Syracuse firemen will come out here and pay tribute during a cold February day to those 9 firemen that lost their lives. Just unfortunately tragic, but hey, those firemen, they're doing their job on that day, trying to save lives, putting out the fire, and they were so worried about the fire, and they thought it was out, and it was out, but turned out the building just got weak, and it just collapsed. And, I respect firemen. I come from a family of firemen, and, it's sad to think, your dad or your son's not coming home. It's sad to think that. But I'm glad Syracuse, made that memorial for them, on such tragic day. I mean, just wow, unbelievable. And here's another part of the Firemen's Memorial Park. Luckily in Syracuse, they hadn't had any much disasters happening. I mean, they did have that house collapse in Carbon Street. Luckily, firemen were there when the house was fully collapsed. Luckily, the family of that Carbon Street house, at least they're doing well. Hopefully, they're recovering strong. Oh. Wow. And these are the graves of their duty. These are the other members as well of Syracuse Fire Department. So, wow. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I gotta go. Duck on the run's gotta run. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.